it's Michelle, and today I'm going to be doing something that's pretty different from what I usually do here on this channel. And this is a very personal topic, so I'm actually pretty nervous filming this. This is the second time that I have had to film this because the first time I was just a mess. But I wanted to film this video because I thought that some of the tips that I had are pretty good tips, and I thought that they could maybe help some of you who are going through a breakup because let's face it, all breakups they suck. It's one of the worst feelings that I have ever felt. I'm not a professional. These tips that I have are just what worked for me. They may not work for you, but you know, I thought I'd put them out there in case someone else could find them helpful. I'm just gonna give kind of a brief backstory on kind of what I went through. I don't want to get into too, deep details because this is very personal and I don't really want to share too much of it with you guys, but I do kind of want to help you understand my experience. So I was in a relationship in high school. I was in a relationship for almost 3 years. It was very serious. It was very serious, I can tell you that. It wasn't just like, oh, let's see where this goes. Like, it sounds really embarrassing, but we pretty much thought that we were gonna get married. I was one of those girls who was just like, oh, no, we're gonna be together forever. And so when it did end, it was really, really hard for me. And I did end the relationship, which I was actually pretty proud of because I wasn't happy anymore, but I was very insecure and I depended a lot on this relationship to make me happy and to bring me confidence, which was not good. So the fact that I was the one who did end the relationship, I was actually pretty proud of. I was actually really proud of myself for standing up for myself and for standing up for, my happiness in my life. He was not a bad person or anything. We just were terrible for each other. It just didn't work out. We were very different, especially in the last couple years. People change a lot. As I said, we dated for almost 3 years. Obviously in the beginning we were very different people from who we ended up being later in the relationship. So it just didn't end up working out because we were very different and I just wasn't happy, to be honest. There was a lot more crying than there was laughing, which I always think is a sign that the relationship isn't right. So as I said, I didn't want to get into too much detail. I hope that wasn't too lengthy. So that was the situation I went through. Obviously every situation is different. I don't know what you guys have gone through. I don't know what your situation was. So just keep that in mind, that I'm trying to make this as broad as possible for just, a typical breakup. You just weren't right for each other and you broke up and you're really sad, and now these are my tips on how to get through it. Alright, my first tip is to change your mindset. I titled this video How to Get Through a Breakup, not how to get over somebody or how to get over a breakup or how to mend a broken heart, because those are all really hard things to do and they come with time, and putting that much pressure on yourself to get over somebody I think is a really negative thing to do because it's so much pressure on yourself, and that's making it more about them than making it about you and your life and your experience and what you should be thinking. So just get that out of your mind, change your mindset to, let me just get through this breakup, through this horrible experience in my life, and come out the other side as a happier and more complete person. So that's kind of what I think is the best thing to do, to stop being like, okay, get over them, get over them, get over them, because that's going to happen with time, and you can't just automatically wake up the next day and be over that person. I don't think I'm 100% over that person, even though, I don't want to date them ever again in my entire life. This is your life and you need to change your mindset and stop making it about them and make it about yourself, because that's the only way you're gonna get through this hard time and be truly happy. Alright, my other tip is to cry. Obviously this is pretty, straightforward. Usually if you've gone through a breakup, you're gonna be really, really sad, and it's okay to just let it all out, because if you try to keep it in, you're just gonna end up being in a situation where you sometimes mention the other person, or you get into a conversation about the other person, or someone else mentions, your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, and you just break down. So what I did was stay in bed for like 2 or 3 days straight, and I just cried my eyes out. I literally cried until I physically could not cry anymore. My body could not produce any more tears. I cried really, really, really hard, and that really helped me get through it, because afterwards I couldn't produce any more tears and I had already kind of let it all out, and that really helped me get through the first step of the breakup. My other tip is to turn to people who support you, and this may seem obvious, but I think that a lot of people turn to people who try to dictate what they should do and give them advice, but I think that you should really turn to people who genuinely care about you. They will listen to you and just be there for you and genuinely care about what you're going through, and not try to spout out all this advice and what you should do. I think that you need to surround yourself with people who are like that, because I surround myself with my mom, my sister, and my friend Sophie, and those people really helped me get through that really hard hard time because I know that they weren't judging me, they weren't telling me what to do. They understood what I was going through, they understood me and who I was and what I wanted, and they just listened to what I was going through, and they didn't try to tell me what to do or what I should be doing. They just were there for me. So just surround yourself with positive people who will listen to you. My other tip is to get rid of their stuff. And that is one of the first steps of cutting them out of your life. And this may sound bitter or angry or, just negative or harsh. That's a lot of words. But this is your life. This isn't their life anymore. You're not sharing your life with them. And especially for me, it was really hard because I was with them for 3 years. The last time I had been single was when I was 15 years old, and then I was 18 years old, and I didn't know who I was, and I wanted to create my own life. So getting all their stuff out of my house was a very important step. No matter how valuable it is, or how sentimental, or like one of the things for me, I was like, well, what if we get back together? And then I figure, oh, I should keep this in case we get back together. But no, you can't think that way. You just have to get rid of their stuff. Don't think about it. Just get that out of your house, out of your life, because it's gonna be a negative influence on you. When you see it, you're gonna be sad, and that's not a good thing. I may sound bitter when I'm saying it, but I don't want things that are negative and, bring me, feelings of sadness in my life. Like, what's the point of that? So just get rid of that stuff because you will be a lot happier and you'll just feel a lot more fresh. So that's one of my other tips. Another tip that goes along with that is to delete the photos of you two together on social media. So I did this pretty much immediately afterwards. I went on Instagram, deleted the pictures of us together, and then on Facebook, and I did that too. I just kept the ones from like prom and stuff that's like high school experiences that I still want to remember. So I just kept those pictures and deleted all the other ones that I had no use for and that I didn't need in my life. That's negative energy, and that's stuff that's gonna make you upset. You should just kind of start fresh, which I think deleting your pictures is a really good way to do that. Another tip that I have is to block them on social media, and this may sound really harsh and really mean, but you don't owe them anything, and this is about you and your experience. And I know that seeing my ex-boyfriend's posts and statuses and pictures and stuff like that on Facebook, that just made me upset and made me sad and angry and like all these negative emotions that I shouldn't be feeling anymore. So I really think that blocking your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend on social media is perfectly acceptable. I think that people put too much pressure on trying to be friends, which is really unnecessary because, this is about you and your life, and if that person doesn't bring you happiness and if these things are just making you upset, then I think it's perfectly fine, at least for like the first couple months, to block them on social media. So going along with that, stop trying to be friends with them. Don't see them for at least a month, I would say, because the first step of your breakup is going to be very emotional, and I was very, very vulnerable, and I know that if I had seen my ex-boyfriend within that month, I probably would have just been like, let's get back together, because I was not in my right mind. I was really vulnerable, really emotional, and you cannot be responsible for your future happiness when you're in that kind of emotional and vulnerable state. Definitely don't see them for at least a month, because then you'll be, more stable and you'll be able to make decisions that you're kind of conscious of. My other tip is to stop putting them on a pedestal. Let yourself complain about them. That helped me so much. I would complain to my mom and to my sister and to my friends, and I would just tell them all the negative stuff in our relationship. My other tip is to get a makeover. What I did was, for a really long time, I wanted to get an ombre. Essentially what I wanted to do was start fresh as a new me, and not because of my ex-boyfriend, not because of my past relationship, but because of the person that I was in the past. I was very insecure, dependent upon another person for happiness. I was not happy with who I was just a mess. So I did not want to be that person anymore, and this wasn't about my ex-boyfriend at all. This was about starting fresh as a confident, better version of myself. Changing up your look can be very helpful, and not for everybody. I'm not saying like, go dye your hair blue because you need to be different. This is a required step for you, but it's not. But if you want to do something different, getting a little haircut can help. Getting your hair dyed a different color can help, just as a fresh start. And also, changing up your style, something that you've always wanted to try, you can do that too. That really helps. Another thing in the makeover category that you can do is make over your room. I know with my room, I was not happy with it. It did not represent me or my style at all. And also, it was absolutely filled to the brim with memories of my ex-boyfriend. So I didn't want to have that kind of negative energy in my space. So I decided to give my room a makeover. I painted it a different color with my mom. I really made sure that it kind of resonated with who I was. I switched up the location of all of my furniture. I just made it look like a completely different room because I I really wanted a fresh start to who I wanted to be. Changing up these things that may seem pretty superficial actually really does help. It just really helps put together this kind of new start, this new life that you are about to embark upon, because you know, this experience doesn't necessarily have to be a bad one. This can really help you just kind of, you know, start a more positive, happy life focused on you. My other tip is to get out of town and to make memories that they are not a part of. I think that this is a very important step because, as I said, I got into a relationship when I was 15 years old, and then I was 18 years old, and that's a huge portion of my life. This huge portion of my life was filled with my past relationship, all these negative experiences. You know, it was not really my life, it was more our life. It was really hard for me because I had just graduated high school, and then when I look back on my high school experience, most of my memories involved my past boyfriend, and now that he wasn't a part of my life, I didn't feel like I had memories that were truly mine. So I really wanted to make memories that were just my own. So getting out of town is a very good thing that you can do. Luckily, my family had a perfectly timed Europe trip right after my breakup, like around a month after my breakup, probably less than that, but we went to Europe and it was amazing. I could just enjoy my time with my family, with myself, in a different continent, and have all these memories that he didn't know about, all these experiences that he didn't know about. They were just mine, and that's the thing. You really have to make this experience about yourself and not about the other person in order to move on with your life. Obviously, not everybody can go to Europe, but you know, even if it's just to a different town that's like maybe a couple hours away, I don't know, go camping with your friends and all get together and go camping. Create memories that are just your own, because when you look back on your life, you might not necessarily be with the person you're in a relationship with, or you were in a relationship before. You know, you're gonna be dating a lot of people. Create memories that are just yours, that are just your own, because when you look back on your life, do you really want it full of just ex-boyfriends? I don't think you do. So definitely take this time to create these memories as a single lady. My other advice is to find your single jam. And what is this? Is to listen to happy music that celebrates being single. I know that my ex-boyfriend was really rude and would send me a million links to all these depressing songs through a breakup, and I was like, no, I don't want to listen to that. So I would just ignore all of those, and I would go and I would freaking listen to all these songs that were just like, I look so good without you. I would just listen to happy music and music that just was, you know, uplifting and celebrated being single. Listening to depressing music will keep you in that depressing state, and you just want to kind of try to get out of that. It's a hole that you can be trapped in for a long time, so to try to climb your way out of that hole, I definitely recommend finding your single jam and just listening to happy music. And don't listen to any of your songs, because that would just make you depressed. So just listen to happy music, and it definitely will lift your mood, and it will create a positive vibe for your journey to being happy again. My last tip is to celebrate being single, and to do this, stop focusing on wanting to be in a relationship. Stop focusing on who you're gonna be with next. Stop focusing on your past relationship. Celebrate just being by yourself, because honestly, I'm single right now, and I was in a relationship for 3 years, and I can 100% honestly say that I am 20,000 times happier being single right now than I was in that past relationship. Relationship does not equal happiness, and I think that people really need to get that through their minds, because I think in society there's so much pressure that, you know, if you find the one, if you find someone to date, you will be happy, and that does not correlate. Those things have nothing to do with each other. And so definitely find this time to just celebrate yourself and to celebrate being alone. You're not alone. You have so many people who are there for you and who support you. So just take this time to, you know, enjoy being by yourself. Be selfish. Do things that make you happy. Eat a lot of ice cream. Watch a lot of rom-coms with your girlfriends. I can honestly tell you guys that things happen for a reason, and things will get better. I know that sounds really cheesy, but if I could go back a year ago to when I was crying over my breakup and tell myself, you know, you will be actually 10 times happier than you ever were in that relationship that obviously wasn't right because it ended. I wish I could do that, because it's insane how much 1 year can change, and how this thing that happened in your life that may seem like a tragedy can actually be, you know, like this rebirth of yourself and a better you and a better life. So I hope that this video helped some of you out there, and I know that it was probably very long and I rambled on for a lot of things, and I'm sorry if I seemed angry. I'm not angry or bitter at all, I swear. I'm just very passionate about this this topic because it was such a hard time for me in my life, and I really do want to help some of you who are going through this. And honestly, you know, if you are going through a breakup and you need somebody to talk to, me and Aline are here for you guys, and I know I'm here for you too, guys. I'm here for you too. And a little self-promo here. I actually entered a selfie contest on the website that I am interning for. It's called collegefashionista.com. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I am an intern on that website, and I entered a selfie contest with this selfie. And if you guys want to help me out in winning this contest, I will put the link down below in the description box, and all you have to do is click on that link and like the picture on Facebook. And if you guys could do that, I would honestly love you so much. So I will leave the link down below if you guys want to help me out with that. Social media links are down below in the description box as well. And that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe! Woo!